Hello to you. My name is Mariam Kvrivishvili and this is Poland Daily Culture from Georgia. We are in Tbilisi with Mariam Kvrivishvili, a deputy ministry in the Ministry of Economics. She is responsible for tourism and aviation. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you so much for coming all the way from Poland to Georgia.
Please tell me, just for the beginning, how did the pandemic and the COVID-19 influence the tourism between Poland and Georgia?
As you know, a lot of countries, basically all the countries that have been touristically active before COVID has been significantly hit due to COVID-19, and unfortunately Georgia was not an exception. Obviously, we came through very difficult times. Our industry had to go through extremely difficult times, especially during 2020. 2021 looks quite promising, regardless of the fact that COVID is still with us all over the world. However, with the good speed of vaccination that we see throughout the world, and especially also in Georgia, we have very good expectations when it comes to reviving such important direction of our economy, such as tourism and aviation. When it comes to Poland, we're very happy to say that also before COVID, Polish market used to be one of our significant source of tourists. Basically, Poland always ended up to be among top 10, top 15 countries that generated the biggest volume of tourists into our country. We used to have vast amount of direct flights coming into Tbilisi, the capital, also into Kutaisi International Airport, and we were so grateful to see that Polish tourists love to come to Georgia. We would see them coming back, that we would see them recommending, and that is why I think, even regardless COVID in 2021, we see that Poland is one of the first markets to start traveling to Georgia immediately as the international air borders were open, and we all agreed on the safe terms of travel. So we look forward hosting more Polish travelers starting effectively today going forward.
When it comes to Polish tourists, which destinations do you recommend the most for them to visit, not only in Tbilisi but also in Kutaisi?
I would recommend them to see Georgia during all 4 seasons. Beauty of our destination is that it's a 4-season travel destination. So you can come here on every season during summer and you enjoy your time on the Black Sea coastline, or come during winter where you can ski on our amazing Caucasus ski slopes, or you can come during autumn and participate in harvest and make your own wine. So initially I would start with come to Georgia, travel to Georgia on every season. Secondly, I think Tbilisi has become a top destination for tourists, but we're so proud to say that Tbilisi is not the only destination where tourists come and stay. Kutaisi is one of the new destinations that we as government started to heavily invest to develop infrastructure, tourism infrastructure. And not only, I'm very happy that you and your colleagues had an opportunity to visit Kutaisi International Airport, which is recently renovated, and this is the main airport where we host tourists coming in from Poland. It's one of the most beautiful and well-infrastructured airport, which can now handle a lot more travelers than we used to before we would expand the infrastructure. We have a lot of other directions in our country, such as Svanetic, Acheti, the wine region, Batumi, where we have Black Sea coastline, Abastumani, which is our new interesting travel destination, which could be a top destination for tourists, especially after post-COVID treatment. So it's very hard, to be honest, to say which direction and which region I would recommend, what I would recommend for them to come often so that they could explore as much as they can and as much as time as they have, because there is always a reason to come back to Georgia. Is it sightseeing, is it Georgian famous cuisine, or world famous Georgian wine?
And just to wrap up, do you know how many tourists do you actually expect the coming year or the coming season from Poland? Or do you have such numbers?
We have quite satisfactory and quite positive expectations when it comes to receiving a number of tourists from Poland. The reason of it is 2 things. Number one, as I said, Poland was one of the first markets of which travelers started to come back to Georgia. And second of all, which is very important, these are direct flights. And currently we have a very good number of direct flights to Poland and coming from Poland, also in the capital and also in Kutaisi International Airport. In total, Polish travelers can travel to Georgia with direct flights up to 4 points, which gives them more flexibility to come in. Obviously, you know that we don't have visa requirement for Polish travelers, and when it comes to COVID regulations, whoever is vaccinated twice with full doses can come to Georgia without any additional requirements. And if someone is not yet vaccinated, they can come with valid PCR and then do PCR test on the 3rd day. So these are the regulations, these are the baselines that give us very good expectations for Polish travelers. For the time being, we've already hosted up to 10,000 Polish travelers in Georgia, of course, considering the fact that we've opened our borders fully for tourists only for a couple of months. So this is a very satisfactory figure. So that is why, again, as I said, we have very good expectations. And again, we're very keen also with our private sector who loves to host Polish travelers, our tour guides, tour operators, drivers, restaurants, hotels. So we look forward having more and more Polish tourists all over Georgia.
So it seems like Georgia is full of attractions and places worth to sightseeing for Polish tourists, and they are ready for us to come. There has opened just a new international airport in Kutaisi, where you can easier go to Batumi and visit a different part than Tbilisi. Just simple to say, come to Georgia, and we both hope you will enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.